Hey guys, I'm so excited to walk you guys through the TypeScript tutorial in this video. This is gonna be a quick video where we talk the basics of TypeScript. So, what is TypeScript you ask? It's not a new language. TypeScript can be described as a statistically typed superset of JavaScript, which means all JavaScript code or valid TypeScript code, and it is statistically typed unlike JavaScript, which is dynamically typed. Moreover, it's an object-oriented programming language with classes, interfaces, access modifiers, and so on. Angular 2.0 is written in TypeScript. Well, in the end of this tutorial, you'll have an idea of what type annotations are, about arrow functions, interfaces, classes, access modifiers, properties, and modules. Why TypeScript you ask? TypeScript is strongly typed like C# and Java. It's easier to debug and we can identify the errors at compile time unlike JavaScript. It has great tooling support like IntelliSense, which speeds up development considerably. In short, TypeScript is a baby born with awesome features that we enjoy with languages like C#, Java, and JavaScript. Before proceeding into this tutorial, to be comfortable, make sure you have idea about object-oriented principles and basics of JavaScript. In order to start with TypeScript, you need to have Node.js installed. If you don't know to work with Node.js, that's fine. We only need Node to install TypeScript and need the ability to run JavaScript in our PC. Go to nodejs.org and download the suitable package for your machine and install. After installing, open command prompt and type npm install-g TypeScript to install TypeScript in your machine. Once the installation is completed, type tsc, in short for TypeScript compiler, --version to verify your installation. With this being done, use your favorite code editor to start. I'm using VS Code and I recommend you to use this too. If you're using any other code editor, that's completely fine. Now let's create a new file in the name main.ts in the folder we created. Initially, I have told you that all JavaScript code are valid TypeScript. Let's type some JavaScript code and see what happens. This is going to be a simple function that just logs a message hello world in the console. This is a valid JavaScript code. You can hit Ctrl and the tilde key, the one before the number key 1, to open the console right in the VS Code, and then type tsc, in short for TypeScript compiler, space main.ts. This will compile or transpile the TypeScript file into a JavaScript file. If we open the main.js JavaScript file, we can see the code is very similar to the one we typed in the main.ts. To run this code, we can simply type node main.js in the console to see the message hello world logged in our console. In TypeScript, you can declare a variable using either var keyword or let keyword. But there is a difference how var and let behaves. Let's see how these two are different. Let's create a function to log the value of I in a for loop. Then another console.log after the for loop. Now let's call the function. To run this, we can also type tsc main.ts space a pipe symbol node main.js. Combining the two, we can compile the TypeScript file to JavaScript file and directly run the JavaScript file. Now we can see the value of I is 5 is printed, which means the scope of variable I is not limited to the for block, but it is also available in the function. Now let's replace var with let and we can see the program complains for error. With this, we can tell the scope of let is block and var is function. Going forward, we'll be using let to declare variables. Let's declare a variable message and initialize it with hello world. Now, when we assign a value of 1, which is an integer, the TypeScript complains. But this is totally okay with JavaScript. This strongly typed nature of TypeScript makes it easy and predictable. When the value gets initialized, the type of variable is implicitly taken by the TypeScript by itself. If we remove the initialization and assign values separately, the TypeScript will not complain. This is because the variable will be of type any if not specified. You can explicitly make the variable as a string like this. Now, as the type of variable is string, it will complain about assigning the value 1. Now we can see what are the types and how to declare variables in TypeScript like number, boolean, and type any and arrays. In arrays, unlike other languages, you can have array of type any. You can also declare enum in TypeScript and use it like this. Let's declare a variable message and initialize it with a string. Now we can access the methods that are specific to strings by typing message dot. Look, we have IntelliSense and this makes our life a lot easy. This is available only if the variable is declared as type string or explicitly specifying its type in general. In case we assign value of string in a separate line and do not declare the variable as string, the variable will be assigned type any and no IntelliSense support is there. To overcome this, we may use message as string within braces and type dot, or string between angle brackets like this and get the IntelliSense back. This is called typecasting, and both the ways are equal. Which one you use is up to you. Let's create a simple JavaScript function like this. In TypeScript, you can write the same function like this. This is called arrow function. You can call the function the same way like always. If you are coming from languages like C#, this is similar to lambda expressions. In case you have only one line in the arrow function, the curly braces can be removed to make it look even simpler. Next, let's create a function drawPoint which takes two variables x and y and log them in a console. There's no problem with this function, but in case there might be a situation where you might need to pass more values, in such case you can encapsulate and pass in objects instead of individual values. You can replace x and y and name the object anything you want, in our case point, and declare variables you need. While calling the function, you need to pass in the objects like this. There might be cases where you might need to use the point object more than once. In this case, you can avoid declaring variables in the object multiple times by creating an interface like this, and replace the object declaration with the point object. And let's make sure this still runs. To make this even more interesting, we can create a class point and make the drawPoint function into a method inside the class. Now, to draw a point, let's create an object point of type point, assign values to x and y, and call the drawPoint method in the class. Further, instead of assigning values separately after creating object, we can use constructor for the same purpose like this. We can see that we have created variables inside the class as assigning the values inside the constructor with the value passed while creating the object. We can further simplify this by directly assigning the values to the variables by just creating access modifier before the variables in the constructor. Let's make sure the code still works. Next, there might be cases where we might need to have different constructors. In our case, say we have only one value now. Unlike other object-oriented programming languages like C# and Java, we cannot create multiple constructors in TypeScript. But we can make the parameters optional in the constructor in TypeScript. Do note, all the parameters right of the first optional parameter should be optional parameters. Now again, let's run the code and show you the code still works. It is possible to change the value of x or y like this, but you don't want this to be changed. In this case, you can make the fields private. This also makes it unable to get the value of x. In such cases, we can use properties. Type get space x and return this dot x. In order to differentiate, we'll rename the x as underscore x. Now we can access the x using point.x, just like a normal field inside the object. So essentially properties or methods looks like a field. Similarly, you can set the value of x using property set. Say you don't want to set the value of x more than 10. This is possible using properties. Let's see what happened when we run this. We have created a point object with the initial value of x and y as 2 and 5 respectively. Then we try to change the value of x to 25. In our set property, as the value of 25 is greater than 10, so 10 is assigned to the field x. And then drawPoint method was called. Lastly, let's see how to create modules. Create a new file named point.ts and paste in the class point. In order to tell the system that you're exporting this class, type export before the class and hit save. In the main.ts, type in import and select the import statement option to generate the import statement. Type in the file name without the extension and / means the point.ts file is in the same directory as main.ts, and in the curly braces type in the class name point. Let's run the code one more time. That's it. With this, we have completed the basics of TypeScript and hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more contents coming from us. Catch you guys in the next one.